Scorpio, hi. So this is going to be a reading for August 31st through September 6th. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Scorpio. What do we have? Aww. The overall energy for the reading, the Justice card. You just want balance, man. And it's like, come on, give me that. And it's yeah. Okay. In the recent past, the King of Wands, the Empress, the Three of Swords, heartbreak. Where I see you super, super open, like super drawn to another energy, but then I see pain at the end of it. So I don't know what the hell happened there, but okay. In the current situation, the Lovers, the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups. Again, feeling this strong connection to someone, but kind of pointing at the past towards it. So I'm wondering if you're pointing at that same energy there, but still hopeful that, hey, maybe it can work out, or maybe, you know, there's something going on. Maybe. In the immediate future, the Five of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Four of Wands. There's a commitment here. You're there with it, not with everything you got, just a tiny little energy there that's kind of like, oh yeah, commitment. Yay. There's something deceptive about it though. So let's clarify. Let's see what's up. Let me do the Justice card. For the Justice, you get the Eight of Wands, the Moon, the High Priestess. I feel like you're trying to kind of balance things out in a situation, or to keep things into balance there. And I get this is that somehow you carry this ability to do that, like it's instilled within, like you can do that. If you want to bring balance to something here, you can. I see you trying on the surface though, and that's the thing. As far as you're concerned, sure, you can bring that in, sure, you have everything it takes, but if you're dealing with another energy, then that might be the issue there, if things aren't falling into balance. You know, because I see you bringing to the table whatever is needed for things to fall into balance. Like, are you the only one there? Probably not. So if you bring it into balance, they're not, then it's not into balance. You know, let me do the King of Wands. Holy crap. The Eight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles. This is, I think, the beginning of whatever that was or is still for you. So you look in the direction of another energy. You feel super, super drawn in that direction. The problem is, at least initially, you carry a ton of fear over that situation. Oh my God, this is not going to work out. You're not expressing that fear. You hold it in. It's in there within you. But as you start this, let me move in the direction of this energy because I feel so drawn to it, and it makes sense that you start moving in that direction, you hold so much fear that it's not going to work out. And what do we do with those fears? We usually manifest them somehow. You know, somehow it's going to create that reality. I did not expect to see that there. Let me do the Empress, the Four of Cups, the Hermit, the Four of Swords. We got two tricky energies here trying to do something together. Because the other energy shows up, at least on the surface, like, yay, yeah, for sure. Everything here seems fine. We're doing this. Yeah, here we go. Let's go. Internally, they're kind of bummed out. They're kind of like, okay, whatever. You carry fear, they carry whatever. now I'm not surprised to see that Three of Swords in there. For the Three of Swords, you get the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. Yeah, at some point, there comes the conclusion between two energies that are not necessarily aligned with themselves fully, because they're not, at least initially there. But on the surface, they give out this, yeah, let's, then they do. But with what they carry internally mixed up over there, and then it results into pain. And then at some point I see you being like, okay, well, you know what? While it's still early in the game here, I don't know what the fuck the situation is about, but it's definitely not feeling great. So let me just count my blessings and move on. That was the conclusion. Now, did you do it? I don't think so. I don't think so. And it was early in the game. And it was still kind of feeling not great, but... Okay. Okay, let me do the Lovers in the current situation. Yeah, no, you didn't, because they're still here. For the Lovers, you get the Empress, the King of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands. Okay, well, now you're dealing with very resistant energies. Like, look, energetically speaking, this is definitely a soul connection. This is one soul to another, relating to one another. It fits, it's great, it's awesome. Because these energies, or these humans that I'm looking at here, you and whoever, weren't honest from the get-go with themselves, and then within this dynamic, things might have gone severely off here. And I'm looking at this connection and I'm seeing it energetically speaking, and I'm like, it's awesome. And then it turns into the physical, and I'm like, in the physical, there's so much resistance to this connection, and I don't know where it's coming from, you, them, both of you, that it's like, how is this still a thing on my table here? You know, how is this still hanging on when there's clearly a rejection to it? Let me do the Five of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Three of Wands. And then I hear a fainted voice there in the back through these energies saying, because there's hope. Hope for what? Hope for what? Well, maybe we can fix it. And then you're saying that while you're pointing towards all the damage that's been done here. That is bringing quite the stressful energy as of right now and for a long time. For both of you. So there's hope. For what? For things to change. Okay. There's hope for things to change. Is anybody doing anything for things to change here? Out of these two energies? Yeah, you know, we're trying. How? How? Because all I see is the little, tiny little energies from the beginning. The fear, the all of that just amplified. So how was the trying applied here? I just see the little hope. A little very faded type of a, but there's hope. For the Ace of Cups, you get the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there is. That's what's holding this here on my table and in your life. That little fainted energy of hope. Again, it's okay to have hope. It's okay to think positive. It's okay to do all of that. What's sustaining that though? What's feeding that hope? What is anybody doing about it or with it? Nothing. We're just hoping. I'm just hoping to win the lottery. Oh, buy a ticket? Pfft, it's okay. If I hang on to hope, I'll win someday. I don't need to buy a ticket. Is anybody doing anything here? Because I don't see anything being done. Maybe you're doing it at a personal level, you know, in which you grow, you work on yourself, and maybe they are too. But like, what about this situation, you know? A little bit of hope is not going to be enough to hold this together, because there's other energies that are kind of pulling it apart. For the Five of Swords in the immediate future, you get the Ace of Swords, the Strength card, the Nine of Cups. finally somebody's doing something about it. Whatever this is coming through as deceptive, and you know why it's coming through as deceptive? Because it's coming through as too little too late. It's like finally someone is like, oh yeah, I gotta do something in order to change things for the better, to match my hope. I gotta do something, right? Here I am doing it, but by that time you don't have the tools to work with anymore. You're not going to care about this as much anymore, because it sucked so much out of you that it's like you have nothing to work with anymore. So that's why it's coming through as deceptive. Not because you're doing anything wrong. You're finally doing something, right? It's like, okay, if it's you or them, I don't know who it is. But it's coming through as too little too late. The damage is too big. Now it's, okay, let's take all the damage, let's bring it to the table, and let's freaking unpack it. And let's see, after we unpack it, if there's anything left that we can work with. And if there is, we'll take it from there. But like, if nobody has done that for who knows how long, then energies of fears, doubts, all sorts of things that bring this down have piled up into this big ass mess. And that's all there is to it. Let's unpack the mess. Let's see if there's anything we can do with it. Let's see if we even have the drive to do that anymore. You know, something. So somebody's doing that. But again, and it might not be too little too late, you know, but the reason that it comes through as too little too late is because somebody doesn't have what it takes anymore to unpack that. One of you, or maybe even the both of you, I don't know. But for the Page of Swords, you get the 10 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Tower. And this is when a big aha moment comes into play. Clarity over where you're at with the situation and what it's looking like. And then you got to be honest with yourself. Do I like it? Do I not? Do I have what it takes? Or can I bring what it takes to work on this? Or not? Or is this it? You know? So things are going to start getting a little brutally honest here for you. But it's about time something happens, because this is not sustainable in the way that it's going like this, with nobody talking about it, nobody just hanging on to a faded energy of hope. For the Four of Wands in the immediate future, you get the Queen of Cups, the Star, the Page of Cups. Okay. So there is also the realization that, hey, there's love here. There's still love here. So that's one good thing. We got something to work with. I see movement around this pile of mess at this point. On both ends. It's because one of you starts it and the other one is coming through. And I do see as a common energy that there is love there. If there's going to be enough love to, okay, let's work on this or not, you'll see when you get there. At least there's something, you know. So there are some elements that can actually open up the mess, to work through it and to see if you can go anywhere from there with it. Because it could go either way. It depends on both energies, though. The willingness to work on it, the openness, the tools, their energy, you know, yours. To, am I even in a place where I can unpack this or not anymore? You know, so you have to kind of start somewhere, and you are. Still comes through as too little too late, but I do see some movement. So that doesn't mean that this is all going to be lost, and at least it's going to be unpacked. At least it's going to be somehow open so that both of you can get something out of it, you know. Whether it's going to be getting to the point of, okay, we can work with this or not, you'll see when you get there. It could be a possibility that something's happening here, you know, where things are not going to look the same anymore, just stagnant and hard and hope, you know. Something's happening, so that's a good thing. Let me see what the universe has as a final advice. Did I see that? I didn't, right? No. The Three of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Six of Pentacles. Okay. I think both of you want to find a middle ground for this. You know, it may not look the same from one energy to the other, from what they want versus what you want, but I feel like both energies have the intention of, you know, somewhat of a peaceful resolution here. Like, let's find a middle ground that we can both work through or with here, and we'll take it from there. And that would be ideal, you know. And I do see that potentially happening. It's just, again, they might want it in one way, you might want it in a different way. And that's where, if both party can't agree that, hey, we're just going to view that middle ground as different, then we can have some issues here. But I don't see that happening yet, at least necessarily. So again, to me, I'm happy that at least there's some energy moving, and there's not just, let's hang on to this really fainted energy of love too, but hope. So things are moving somewhere. Okay, good. But that's it. That's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.